Hello everyone, I am Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IAS English channel. In our today's video, we are going to understand, does India have a national language? Well, at the outset, India does not have a national language. Suppose if you go outside the country, the probability that you and another Indian person must be standing and talking is that you must be conversing in an English language. So when a foreigner person will see you guys, he'll say that when you come from same country, why aren't you talking in your own language? Why are you using English? So Indians, they'll highlight that, see, we come from country India, but our languages are different. His mother tongue is different, mine is different. Now foreigners wouldn't understand it, but this is something very common in India, right? Because India, it is a country which is known for one nation but having many languages. Now there are both good and bad aspects about having multiple language. First, let us deal with what is good about it. Now, when a country has multiple language, you need to understand that country has cultural and linguistic diversity. So literature, movies, music, everything that emerges from these lands, they come in different languages and hence adding to India's soft power. So these are good aspects about having multiple language. But now let's deal with what are challenges regarding to it. Now, whenever a country includes or has many languages, automatically you need to understand people would identify more with their own mother tongue, right? And this sometimes in a democratic setup can lead to less societal cohesion and more societal divide. And this ultimately, when it enmeshes with the political structure of our country, it can lead to more polarization in the society, right? So obviously there are both good and bad aspects about having multiple languages. So in our today's discussion, let us try to understand what does India's constitution say about the languages, how India tries to manage having multiple language and how to ensure social cohesion in such societies, right? Now, why are we discussing this topic? You need to understand we are discussing this topic because recently in many states, particularly states like Maharashtra and Karnataka, there have emerged more demands that if you live in those states, irrespective of which part of the country you come, you need to know that particular language. And it can be good and bad depending upon how people look at it, right? Now, on one aspect, India's linguistic and religious diversity, which is one of the beautiful aspects of India, it sustains its secular fabric. But on other hand, you'll see there are rising identity politics. What is identity politics? Identity politics means politics which is done on a particular identification. It can be language, it can be religion, it can be caste, right? So this has forebrooded more and more identity politics in India. And when identity politics happens, you need to understand political parties pitch their voters in a form of us versus them. And this has emerged into a language-based tension into different parts of the country. And if unchecked, it can lead to threatening of our national unity. So in this regard, let us understand what did our founding fathers or what did the constitution makers thought about having a different languages. So what kind of a recognition does constitution gives to different languages in India? Let's find out. Now the notes of these sessions, if you want to download them, they will be available on the Telegram channel ATS Live. Quite easy to search. Open your Telegram app, write ATS Live in the search bar, you will find the channel. But if you still have problems in locating it, now this is the QR code you can scan. Subscribe it if you still haven't and download the notes. Now, Constitution of India, under its different provisions, recognizes different languages. For example, in Article 29, it provides you the right to cultural diversity. Therefore, it ensures every community's right to conserve its distinct languages, script or culture, even protecting the minorities' linguistic identities, right? So this Article 29 provides each and every person of India to ensure securing and conserving their own languages and script. Similarly, if you look at 8th schedule of the constitution, it currently mentions and recognizes 22 official languages into India, which can be seen as a symbol of constitutional respect giving to our linguistic diversity. We'll understand that many other languages have been excluded for it and there are increasing demands to add more and more languages into 8th schedule. That's for a different time. Now let us understand different articles also in the constitution dealing with matters relating to linguistic diversity, right? Now first is Article 343 in the Indian Constitution. It declares Hindi written in Devanagari script as the official language of the Union of India. It is the official, not the national language. Please remember it. Similarly, Article 345, it allows states to adopt their own official languages, which in a way respects regional linguistic preferences. So you'll see states like Uttar Pradesh, they've adopted Hindi as their state official languages, whereas states like Tamil Nadu, they've adopted Tamil as their own languages, right? So therefore, Constitution of India allows different state governments to have their own languages as their official languages, whereas let us come to union government. Here Article 343 says Hindi written in Devanagari script is the official language, but no language in India is a national language. Please understand that. Therefore, by design, India avoids imposing a single language on its citizens, thereby preventing what is known as a linguistic majoritarianism. For example, if you had to impose, say, X language or Y language is India's national language, what about people not speaking that language? They will be excluded from it, right? So that is why India preserves these linguistic diversity by not recognizing any language as the national language. Now let us understand why is there no national language in India despite recognitions and demands coming from different sections of society. The reason is, first of all, the framers of our Indian Constitution chose not to designate any language as a national language to preserve India's multilingual identity. Similarly, India not just has 1 or 2 or 5 languages, it has 121 major languages in addition to 270 mother tongues. Therefore, imposing one language on all people of India would naturally be unjust, right? So this is why, catering to the diverse population who speak multiple languages, we haven't recognized one language as a national language. In addition to that, India is a federal country where both union government and state government, they derive their power not from each other but from Constitution of India. So in this model also, we are looking to promote a sort of regional autonomy, and how this regional autonomy and cultural identities are preserved, understood from the Article 345. Every state has given the option to choose their own official languages. Similarly, in the past, when the government has tried to impose one language, we have seen many anti-Hindi movements that have occurred in different parts of the country. It started from Tamil Nadu, and gradually we saw emergence of different language-based demands to constitute a separate state based on a language. It emerged in the erstwhile state of Madras, where a Congress worker demanded for a separate state for Telugu people. Similarly, it has also happened in Gujarat, it has also happened in Haryana likewise, right? So therefore, understanding their past history, government and the constitution makers decided not to impose a particular language as the national language, because it will unnecessarily create a divide in the country, right? So this is the reason why no language has been designated as a national language. But despite having linguistic diversity, there are certain challenges that India faces even today. What are these challenges? Let us find out. First is that whenever there are multiple languages in a country, it is all but natural that one language would be spoken of by more number of people, whereas other languages will be spoken or will be spoken by less number of people. So in that case, the politicians, they get an opportunity to pit one people against another in form of us versus them politics, right? So this, in a way, we have seen multiple times that many states or many politicians, they have used the fears of Hindi imposition to solidify their voting base. And this usually happens in southern and northeastern states, so that the people living in those states perceive that Hindi promotion will be seen as a cultural domination by the people who speak Hindi against the people who don't speak Hindi, right? And this in many times have led to political polarization, because language issue is something very sensitive to people, and when you say that your language is going to be ignored against another language, automatically people would perceive fear and they would try to vote for a party that promises to conserve their original languages or their mother tongue, irrespective of whether they can fulfill all those promises or not, right? So this in multiple times has led to political polarization. Society gets divided. On one hand, people will vote for one language, on another hand, people will vote for another language, and this is why it will lead to very bad optics and very bad divisiveness in the Indian society. So this was politics, and now let us understand how it affects our society in general, right? And we have seen even language based violence happens in many states. Recent attacks on non-Hindi speaking people in the state of Maharashtra is just one example. Earlier this has happened in another country, right? Do you think it is right to beat your own citizen just by the fact they can't speak your language? You have to be more sensitive about it, right? Similarly, cultural marginalization also happens. See, many smaller languages, they still haven't been included in the 8th schedule. I told you India has multiple languages. How many languages are there in 8th schedule? Only 22 languages. So what about the people who speak different languages? They are automatically excluded, and this may even be perceived by them that they are culturally marginalized. And when cultural marginalization happens, it leads to ground of political polarization, right? Similarly, many people are not provided with their educational access in their language of their choosing, right? So we have understood in multiple policies and multiple studies that when a child is provided teaching in his or her own mother tongue, the probability of that child getting educated and getting better educated increases, right? But what about people speaking tribal and minority languages? They are not provided teaching in their own languages, so it leads to lack of educational access. And we understood when you have lack of educational access, it automatically in long term leads to your socioeconomic backwardness, right? So this is the challenges that are associated with it. But our purpose of the video is not to highlight those challenges, but to suggest a way forward, right? Because we need to deal with all these issues with a positive mindset. And here, what can be done becomes more important, right? Here, we need to promote linguistic pluralism. It is truth that India is a land of many languages, and this is one of the most beautiful aspects about the country. So let's not eliminate that, let's cherish that, right? And we can do so by encouraging the use and documentation of not one, not two, but all languages in India, not just the scheduled ones. Similarly, we also need to strengthen education that should be provided in the person's mother tongue, because it can be implemented, and even the government feels so by saying that in the new education policy of 2020. So it should provide especially the early education in the regional languages so that no one is lacking the educational part of their build up, right? Similarly, we also need to ensure constitutional protections. We need to uphold, first of all, Article 29, 343 and 345 rigorously so as to prevent linguistic discrimination and ensure that people are not subjected to violence despite the fact they can't speak the local languages, okay? Also, what you need to understand, we need to counter identity politics. See, for one election or two, if this matter arises, it cannot be that divisible. But when it continues for decades to come, it will ultimately lead to divide in the society, which you won't be able to repair again, right? So for that, you need to discourage political actors from fueling linguistic based divide. You need to ensure that policies are enacted, particularly by Election Commission of India, that discourages such politicians from making voting based appeal on the religion, on the caste, even on the languages, right? Similarly, also can expand the 8th schedule. There are 22 languages, you can include more so as to give constitutional backings to the ones languages that are not spoken of by more people, right? Also, you need to foster national integration. What is the most of the highlighted provisions of the preamble? Preamble wants unity and integrity of the entire nation, unity and integrity among the people, right? So for that, we need to promote respect, not just for our own mother tongue, but also for other languages in the country. People need to be considerate about the sensitivities that we have based on our own language. And it is something that should be encouraged, that if you go to other state and if you're working in that state, please make all the efforts to learn that language, because when you learn another language, it opens newer domains into you. You can read literature, you can watch movies, and all of this is the beautiful aspects of India, right? So we need to foster national integration. We can use these diversity to our advantage, not to our disadvantage, right? So this is what I wanted to know. What do you feel about this issue? Do you think it is getting out of hand, or do you think it is justified? Please do let me know in the comments. I'd want your opinion, and please be very civil about it. We all are Indians after all, right? Please do not let our languages, our politics divide us, okay? This is very much essential. Now, before ending, I wanted to let you know something. You have to understand, especially for the students who are looking to give exams in 2026. Now, you barely have few days more than 10 months amount of time left. And do you think without any right guidance, you'll be able to clear it? The answer is no. This is the hard reality. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to take admissions here only. you have an option. You can take admissions here. I can guarantee you that the education mentorship material that is provided to you under the resolution batch is one of the best in the industry, and we also cater to special students depending upon their special needs. Right now, for 2026 batches, the admission will close on 20th July. So you have only until few days left to take admissions. And when you take admissions, before making the payment, please ensure to add ATS Live. This code helps you get discount not just on 2026 course, but all the courses that are available on StudyIQ IAS website. We also have a number 9240231070. If you have any doubt, please call on this number. They'll help you out. Okay. So with this, there's also a practice question, especially for the students giving UPSC exams. You can try writing this answer. I have provided you all the content that is necessary. Try to divide your answers into 3 parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. Please do not ignore introduction and conclusion. They are one of the most important aspects about your answer writing, right? Try to write this question. I'll get out of your way so that you can screenshot it. And if you want any help, if you want the notes, they will be available on this Telegram channel, ATS Live, so you can subscribe it and download the notes. And also, do not forget to let me know in the comments, what do you feel about this national language issue? Does India need a national language issue? Is our politics getting out of hand that is creating social divide? Do let me know what you feel, okay? So we'll see each other again. Please have a very good night.